Just ahead on Tempo in Depth, creating kids with character. It's no simple task, as many parents know, but we'll talk to educators teaching character through leadership. We'll explore a special program called The Leader in Me and show you how 2 local schools and their students have embraced it. Plus, we'll head to Easton to learn more about the young ambassadors, kids from a rough and troubled neighborhood working to make things better. Those stories and much more start right now on Tempo in Depth.
The people of Air Products feel privileged to bring this programming to you. By supporting education and the arts, Air Products strives to improve the quality of life here in the Lehigh Valley, where we call home.
You're safe at home at Luther Crest, a Diacon senior living community in Allentown. Our mission is to offer premier accommodations and services so residents can cultivate a healthy and fulfilling retirement. At Luther Crest, we offer independent living apartments and cottages, personal care, skilled nursing, rehabilitative services, and more. Plus, the Luther Crest team strives to provide each person family-like support. You might say it's like a home run. Luther Crest.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. Well, experts say that good character education can solve behavior problems and improve academic success. They find that when kids feel safe, engaged, and respected, they can focus on their academic goals. One of my role models, best-selling author John Maxwell, defines leadership as influence over others. And here in this region, many schools don't leave teaching that skill to chance. Tonight, we learn about 2 area schools inspiring kids to greatness, one student at a time. Their model, The Leader in Me, gives teachers a framework to integrate character and leadership principles into their school culture. Tempo in Depth's Laura McHugh tells us more.
If you already have your words, we can, I will help you finish your sentence.
At Lincoln Elementary School in Bethlehem, even the youngest students can tell you what it takes to become a leader.
Be proactive, begin with the end in mind, but first things first, think win-win.
5 years old and using terms like proactive and synergize.
I like the way Kendall is sitting quietly with her hands folded. She looks proactive and ready.
According to their teacher, Lori Rusak, they're not just parroting the words. They actually understand the meaning behind them.
We're implementing it into our lessons. I will ask the students if they notice a leadership quality and a character where we're reading a story, and they, at 5 years old, can relate it back to those leadership habits. So it's very, very exciting stuff that's happening.
In every classroom, kindergarten through 5th grade, teachers and students subscribe to the 7 habits of highly effective people.
The 7 habits are: be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand, then to be understood,
synergize, and sharpen the saw.
Together, they form a philosophy called The Leader in Me.
Number 3, first tell me the words that you used.
The Leader in Me program inspires the kids to do their best.
We are inspiring lifelong learners and leaders one child at a time. We provide our students with the opportunities, leadership opportunities, to provide them with experiences to become successful.
And we believe in this school that every child can be a leader. And then when those children believe that they can be a leader, I mean, wonderful, important things can happen for the whole community.
Based on Dr. Stephen Covey's best-selling book, The Leader in Me, created by his son Sean Covey, teaches kids the qualities of successful leaders.
They do the right things even when nobody's watching or looking.
They're respectful, they're responsible, they're kind.
Someone who's attentive and likes to learn and studies hard.
These are the habits, the 7 habits. That's right, the habits, the 7 habits.
There's a real sense of excitement about these 7 habits. Teachers say it begins with the language and grows with the kids, giving them more opportunities to get involved in the school community as they get older. Now in their third year of the program, they say it not only develops character in their students, but can also reduce discipline issues and improve attendance, both of which allow teachers to focus on instruction.
You see them being more self-confident in themselves and in everything that they do, so you see them being willing to volunteer for things in the past that they wouldn't have. And that brings up the test scores without, it just goes hand in hand.
It turns out learning about leadership might be contagious. After seeing the success at Lincoln, Braden Hendershot decided to bring the 7 Habits to DeFranco Elementary School in Bangor, where he's the principal.
Everything from that point forward has been an exciting ride. You know, we look at every part of our day and say, how can we turn that over to kids? How can we give the authority and give the responsibility to our kids for them to be able to lead?
It begins the moment students walk into the school in the morning. 500 5th and 6th grade students gather in the school gym.
On my honor, I will strive to build my character by being respectful and responsible, being obedient, being in control of my body and emotions.
The students, not the teachers, take attendance, collect a lunch count, and run the morning announcements. They're learning responsibility, accountability, and social skills like public speaking.
It really brings kids out, and it really just makes them want to be a leader, and it takes them out of their comfort zone.
A lot of kids are becoming more reliable, and they're learning these life skills that they might need later on. Some people might not have learned them, but now that we've been equipped with this, it's helping us.
I was a little more shy, but now I'm more open and love to talk to people. I don't really mind. So I think Leader in Me opened me up, got me out of my shell, and got me to take charge.
Okay, don't forget, you have good posture. The person first, that's our golden rule. That's the plan to be ready for school.
Teachers in every classroom, from music to language arts, search for ways to include and reference the 7 Habits and create both small and large opportunities for leadership.
Anyone can be a leader. It doesn't mean that you are the leader of the whole 5th grade class, but you can be the leader, the line leader, the paper passer outer. You have a responsibility. We're a team.
It really builds a foundation, and hopefully it's just going to continue on through adulthood. So that's what we're really hoping to do with that.
It's not a gimmick. It's not the new best thing. These are principles that transfer throughout generations and occupations and the different roles that people play.
So if they work for adults, Braden asks, why not teach them to kids? To help them find the leaders in themselves and become the leaders of tomorrow. For Tempo in Depth, I'm Laura McHugh reporting.
Thanks so much, Laura. Well, schools couldn't incorporate character education programs like the Leader in Me without help from groups like the United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley and support from local business partners like Al Douglas. Al's the Senior Vice President at Merrill Lynch, and he joins me now. Mr. Douglas, we're so glad to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And you have such a passion for leadership, and especially in schools.
Well, that's true. I'm in the financial business, and I have one foot in the present and one foot in the future. And when we look at our education system and what is happening, we have to be very frightened of what the future of the United States is going to look like. I was in Boston one time, and this is the critical thing that got me interested. I was in Boston, and I was walking around, and I looked up at the library in Boston, and I saw a quote that has been meaningful to me ever since. And it said, the Commonwealth requires the education of its people as a safeguard to liberty and order. And when I read that, it really affected me. I said, we've got to do something here. We've got to get involved.
And you've personally invested some money to get the Leader in Me into schools throughout our area. Now, it comes at a pretty high price tag. It's about $50,000 a school.
Well, it does, but let me explain how I came to getting involved in the Leader in Me. After I took that quote, and it stayed with me for a good period of time, I all of a sudden found this Leader in Me program. And as an investor in corporations, I've always said, wherever a company is failing, you're going to find out it doesn't have a culture. And a light bulb went on, and I said, this could be the culture. This is the culture that we need in schools, a culture of of wanting to learn, a culture of seeing how you can progress, and it just took my heart, and that's why I'm here.
And it's exciting to see those students that we just watched in that story seeing themselves as leaders.
Right.
And that is that culture. You talked a little bit before we got started that people hire superintendents and they hire principals, and if those superintendents and principals don't work out, they get fired.
Right.
But it's a little bit different in the school.
In business, that's the way it goes. The CEO, the president, the vice president, the foremen, and the workers. And if it's not working, somebody's going to get fired. In schools, you have the same kind of a structure. You have the superintendent, you have the board, you have the superintendent, you have vice presidents, you have principals, and you have teachers, and then you have students. If it doesn't work, you can't fire the student. You've got to deal with the students. So the leader in me is not top down, it's bottom up. What we're trying to do there is we're trying to get into the heads of the kids and show them that they are in charge of their life, that they can be in charge of their life, and they can learn, and it's fun to learn.
And it's exciting to see those young people see themselves as leaders. And it's all kind of how you view yourself, what kind of future and possibilities you might have, that to get something like this in the schools is exciting.
Absolutely. It's just, I think it's the way you change education.
Now, it's expensive. You talked about $50,000 a school, but there's a foundation that if we had more businesses get involved, we could impact more students. Talk to us about that quickly.
Correct. When we first started, it was a cost of $50,000, and myself and some other business people in the Valley financed Lincoln Elementary School. But since then, we have a foundation that's been created that will pay for a great deal of the cost. In this particular foundation will pay $25,000 to train and do everything that you need to do the first year. All they're asking for is a commitment from a business or the community of $5,000 a year after that for each school.
For a number of 5 years, correct?
5 years, $25,000, which if a corporation gives it, they get an investment tax credit for it. So it's really penny change for the corporations.
And the return on investment probably has to be pretty exciting when you see young people being more successful and more vested in their education.
Absolutely. If we don't change this, those businesses are going to have a tough time finding people to work for them. And so it's, I found it's exciting. I mean, I used to be a person that complained about the whole system. Then I got in, and I'm telling you, I love the teachers at Lincoln that I've been involved with, the principals up at Bangor, and it's I find it an exciting thing to do every day. And if a corporation would take a school, finance it, and get their people involved in that school, I think we can change it. I think we can make this a wonderful place for kids to want to go.
You know, and it all starts with you became a part of the solution. And so we just need more folks like you to be a part of the solution so we can get programs that make a difference in schools all throughout our region.
I hope that that does happen. There's more and more people getting interested in it. The Sands Hotel is going to pick up a school. As I said, the Originate Ventures picked up Lincoln School. And so I hope that this program brings attention to it and that it does lead to the community getting back involved in education.
Al Douglas, Senior Vice President at Merrill Lynch, we thank you for what you're doing for our community and thank you for sharing the information with us today.
You're welcome.
Well, if young people don't come to Terrence Miller in Easton, he goes to them. He seeks out programs and leads efforts to help Easton's disadvantaged youth. He's there to pull young people off the streets and away from gangs, drugs, and violence. Tempo in Depth's Grover Silcox tells us about a program called Young Ambassadors that uses character development to make a difference in young people.
These teens in Easton's West Ward chip in to clean up a community garden. It's just one of the good works they do as members of the Young Ambassadors, a group of 15 and 16-year-olds dedicated to nurturing their neighborhood and cultivating their character.
we want to get the kids engaged in the community. We want them to improve the community. So we do things that we can take them to a park, they'll pick up garbage. We'll talk about things like mending a fence or painting a fence. We want them to plant flowers, want their hands. And, you grow something organic in the city and it beautifies it.
Terrence Miller, a youth advocate in Easton, advises the young ambassadors, while Yafeyu Orfi, a 21-year-old student at Northampton Community College and a resident of the West Ward, helps coordinate their activities throughout the 8-week program.
Kids are very intelligent. All of them are very intelligent, and all of them are willing to listen.
Every Thursday after school, the young ambassadors meet at Terrence's West Ward home. They'll each receive $500 and a certificate when they finish the program. The money will help them, but they come as much for the camaraderie and the chance to do something positive.
What came to your mind when you had Yafeo just walking up to you and saying, "Hey man, what's happening? What's up?"
Like, make me be a better person and help out the community and like try to change like the background of our community.
These young people living in the West Ward face some tough challenges: poverty, broken families with parents unemployed, pressure to join gangs, do drugs, and get in fights.
A lot of people only see gang life. They only see selling drugs. They only see negativity when there's so much positivity.
Terrence and Yafeyu model that positivity as they walk the streets of the West Ward looking for ways in which the young ambassadors and everyone in the community can join hands and solve problems. On this day, they walk down an alley known for drug dealing.
How do we use environmental design? How do we beautify it? How do we change the lighting? How do we work with landlords and property owners to improve that part of the city instead of saying, it's the city's job, let the police take care of it. No, it's our job. And it's our job from the homeowners to every kid that's walking out on that street.
Terrence and Yafeyu talk to kids about their lives and joining Young Ambassadors.
I'm a quick learner, actually. Like, I used to work at Dorney, I worked at McDonald's, I worked in warehouses.
When you listen to these kids talk, they talk about being better communicators. They talk about learning things. They talk about developing friendships. Those are our goals, and interestingly enough, those are their goals, and it really gives the community a peek inside of what's in the hearts of these kids.
The Young Ambassadors put a lot of heart into the work they do.
This is how we take back the earth.
Sophia Feller, an urban agriculture coordinator for the Community Action Committee of the Lehigh Valley, teaches the kids how to use the tools to clean up the flower beds.
It's exciting to me because they'll learn some skills, I think, with tools, and then also maybe they'll get involved with the garden. Maybe someone in their family will.
You can do anything you want to do. There's nothing in this world there's no obstacle you can't push past.
Right.
And that's what these kids need to see, and that's what these kids need to hear.
What is my dream? Probably to go and play for the Eagles. That's my dream job.
The Young Ambassadors receive the affirmation they need to pursue their dreams while investing in their community.
Yeah, that's beautiful. The gardens give us tomatoes, but community gardening is not just about tomatoes. It's about the community. It's about getting neighbors working together and talking together. And then if we can work together in a garden, then maybe we can work together about other problems in our community and find solutions.
These young people have begun to clear a path toward a positive future by giving of themselves, earning a wage, looking to positive role models, contributing to their community, and showing a lot of character.
You change the character of a young person, you change the city.
The Young Ambassadors have already cultivated the kind of character that's making positive changes for Easton and the West Ward. For Tempo and Depth, I'm Grover Silcox reporting.
Thanks so much, Grover. Miller and the West Ward Neighborhood Partnership now hope to find funding to continue the Young Ambassadors after this initial class graduates in mid-December. Well, our next guest founded the Lincoln Leadership Academy, an Allentown charter school, for grades 1 through 12. Here, they don't consider their kids at risk, but rather at promise. Sandra Figueroa Torres is the school's chief executive officer, and she joins me now with more information. Sandra, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Help us understand a little bit more about what you're teaching the more than 500 students at Lincoln. What makes it different than 2 + 2 = 4?
Well, we have a very strong focus on the development of character. We focus a lot on the development of integrity. We are about developing leaders, Amy. We're about developing leaders with character and integrity at Lincoln.
But you have strong test scores as well, because of course we can't forget the 2 + 2 = 4.
That's correct.
In 4 years, you said you met your annual yearly progress required by the state, 2 years. And your challenge last year, though, was secondary math. Help us understand and just put it in perspective, because everyone talks about those PSSA test scores.
Well, and they are very important. They are extremely important. However, that is not what we use as our guiding force with our students at Lincoln. We don't put a strong emphasis where they live and breathe teaching to the test. We really are we use a very holistic approach in teaching our students. So we really, we talk a lot about the alignment of the head, the heart, and the hands. And we are very intentional in teaching to the mind, instilling in the heart, and watching the fruit as a result in the actions of the students. So it is holistic. We incorporate, obviously, we focus on the test, but that's not our primary force.
So it's a combination of those. What are you seeing from your students? This will be your first graduating class coming up in the spring. How are you seeing them change over the 4 years that you've had many of them with you?
Oh my gosh, we have so many stories that we could share about students who we have seen transformed from the inside out. We have students who came to us 4 years ago who were just not motivated. Their expectations of themselves and their desire to learn was very low. And we see them now in our kids, our juniors last year, which was our first junior class. Over 50% of them were actually duly enrolled in Eastern University and taking courses at El-Tri-C. And they actually went to Eastern, which is outside of Philadelphia, and they actually went to the campus in Schnecksville. And these are young people that probably would not have had the opportunity, nor would they have even thought that was available to them. So to watch them taking college courses and being very successful. We have students, which is now our first senior class, some of them have almost 12 to 15 college credits when they leave us. So to us, that's very exciting because they now believe that they can learn. They have risen to meet the expectations, and now they see their future beyond their immediate community. They now know, I'm going to college and I'm going to make a difference.
What other partnerships? Do you have any other partnerships with colleges in the area?
We do. We work very closely with El-Tri-C. We work with Eastern University. We are in the process of developing some partnerships with local universities. We also have other partnerships in Gettysburg with Lincoln Institute, Lincoln Leadership Institute it's called, and they develop Fortune 500 CEOs, and they actually work with the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and some of the Fortune 500 companies. And they actually work with our students. So that our students actually go to Gettysburg and spend 2 days and experience a very intensive leadership training, which is amazing to watch that transformation.
Some people say everything rises and falls on leadership, and that if the young people aren't prepared to be the leaders of tomorrow, that we suffer on so many different levels. You've been in education for many, many years, and it hasn't always been easy, I'm sure, because there isn't a job in the world that's been easy for anyone, I don't think. How do you see this making a difference in the educational system?
We know that we are developing leaders with just a strong focus on character and integrity. It's our desire to prepare these young people. I often say to them, you'll be taking care of us. And when you do that, I want a young person that is professional, that has character, that knows how to make good decisions, that has a strong foundation of values. So when we work at Lincoln to instill these values in our students and to build that strong character, I believe we're contributing to our future, the future of our country, which we know so desperately needs leaders with character and integrity.
Because it is something that it hasn't been taught in the past, and we've seen some of the problems in the corporate world because character isn't there. So what's the one thing you want people to to know about Lincoln Leadership?
I want them to know that our young people, I think so many times young people living in the inner city and living in poverty and that are under-resourced and undereducated and underserved, sometimes society as a whole is too quick to write them off and use many of the excuses that are real, very real excuses, to kind of just say, we can just kind of write them off. I want people to know that our young people are young people at Promise, that they are so full of talents and gifts and potential and capacity. And when given the opportunities to nurture those and to bring those out to make a difference, that they do so and they blow us all away.
We are out of time. Sandra Figueroa Torres, CEO of Lincoln Leadership Academy at Charter School in Allentown, thank you so much for sharing your time and talents with all those young people as well.
Thank you, Amy.
Finally, we'd like to leave you with some resources to learn more. At theleaderinme.org, find out more about details on this program and the results that they see. And you can find out how you can get it in your school. Also, at character.org, you can learn more about the Character Education Partnership, plus find tip sheets for parents and teens. Well, that does it for us this evening. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you back here again next time on Tempo in Depth. Have a great night. Good evening.
The people of Air Products feel privileged to bring this programming to you. By supporting education and the arts, Air Products strives to improve the quality of life here in the Lehigh Valley, where we call home.
How'd you like to be part of a studio audience for a live taping of Tempo in Depth? Join us at the PBS 39 Public Media and Education Center on the Steel Stacks campus in Bethlehem. For free tickets and information, 610-867-4677 extension 333, or go online to tempo.wlvt.org. I hope to see you soon.
This program is brought to you by the members of PBS 39 and by...
In 1948, John Walson put an antenna on top of a mountain and ran a cable back to his television store. Cable TV was born. Now, over 60 years later,